One of the major differences between a developed country and developing countries is their ability to commercialize their intellectual property rights. Developed countries make it easier for their citizens to commercialize their intellectual property and then use the same intellectual property rights to address some of the issues and challenges in the country. The commercialization of the intellectual property rights also enables the creation of trade services and employment, both of which generate enormous revenue for the governments. In 2017, the UK exported £17.6 billion and imported £11.8 billion of intellectual property services, resulting in a trade surplus of £5.7 billion. In the United States, industries that intensively use IP accounted for 41% of domestic economic activity, or output, in 2019. That year, the IP-intensive industries directly accounted for more than 47 million American jobs. In addition to these jobs, IP-intensive industries supported an additional 15.5 million jobs in other industries that supply them intermediate goods and services. In total, the IP-intensive industries supported 62.5 million American jobs in 2019, or 44% of employment. These are the types of figures we want to see in Africa, and we know it is attainable because the demand for IP solutions is high in Africa. Join us in exploring what IPR commercialization can do for Africa. This video is divided into 3 parts. The first part describes how we raise funding for IPR commercialization in your country. This is a crucial topic because one of the key policies we have is for African investments to be the first to go into African development opportunities. This includes ensuring the investors from your country get to be the first investors to hear about an investment and development opportunities in your country. The second part talks about how we source IPR in your country and build up your country's intellectual property asset register. Your country already has intellectual property registers, we will work with them. Our project is focused on finding a commercial market for registered IPR. In this section, we describe how we help you build your youth talent from as young as primary school. This will allow young children to start developing their talent from an early stage. One of the crucial aspects of the intellectual property asset register we will be creating is that it will enable you to see the level of intellect and intellectual solutions that exists in your country. The last part talks about how we initiate IPR commercialization in your country, enabling you as a government to partake in the development, attract IPR into some of the development areas you need, and ultimately generate revenue from IPR commercialization in your country. So what will this give you country? Let's say you have a need for a particular development, you can use our database to find out who has that skill in your country. If there is a particular issue or challenge in your country, you can put out a tender to find solutions from IPR owners, as well as find investors who are willing to fund the project. Ultimately, this platform can be used to find local solutions to every problem, issue, or challenge you have in your country, and you will get a variety of solutions to choose from, as well as investment partners. All this will generate local jobs and trade services in your country.
One of the first tasks we will carry out is to engage your finance sector. Our aim will be to ensure any investor in your country that has interest in intellectual property rights is given the opportunity to get involved in their development. We have designed the system to be as open and inclusive as possible in order to ensure small and large investors are covered. Our focus is to promote national interests and businesses in the development and commercialization of your country's intellectual property rights. Each business organization has a trademark, a brand that allows their products and services to be identified by clients, and this project is going to have a huge concentration of potential clients, who will be interested in purchasing their products and services. Our aim is to engage them in product and service placement deals and ensure their products and services are placed with the audience that needs them. Investment firms, banks and private investors will be interested in the projects that emerge from the IPR commercialization framework, as this will range from patentable inventions to copyrighted ideas that are looking to enter the market. This will provide much needed funding for African projects in a manner that is easy to access and relate to the project. By way of example, let's imagine there is a national project to create a national road system. This development project can be listed on the platform, and what the government will get back will be as follows. 1. Intellectual property rights ideas with the latest technology to build roads using raw materials that can be found in your country. 2. Options to build a national road and how to fund them. These may include toll road systems, road advertisement systems that could pay for the construction of the road. 3. List of companies who can participate in the project and the contributions they can make. In a nutshell, your government will have at your fingertips the solution for a fully costed national road system and the experts that can make it happen. Most people are aware that one of the biggest challenges for African projects is funding, and we overcome that challenge by placing other businesses' interest directly into the projects.
The focus of the IPR commercialization project, apart from the general public being able to participate, is on 3 key areas. 1. Young talents as early as primary schools. Africa has never had a culture of developing young talents, and our strategy will enable your nation to start this process effortlessly. This will mean, from a very young age, all your young talents will be able to convert their talents into an intellectual property rights with a portfolio then can manage as they grow up. This is applicable to all parents and schools and will enable your academically gifted children to be identified from an early stage and put on a development plan that rewards their talent. At the same time, it will enable the industries in your country to see the sort of talents you have, before they are lost to the international market. This will create future employment in your country. 2. The second group we will target are college students or teenagers. This is crucial because these are the working age population of your country and where talent can be converted into employment. In this group is where we will find your sporting talents that need to be exposed to international competitions, academic talents that contribute to your industries, and entrepreneurs that need to be incubated into various sectors in your economy. The last sector are teachers and professors as well as retired scholars. This is crucial because this is where your country holds its intellectual capital. In our opinion, these are the people with knowledge of how things can be done and who have seen your country fail at doing it. Our plan is to engage them in order to harness their intellect as we put in place projects to address some of the issues and challenges in your country. As these more mature citizens in your country, this will enable your country to harness their wisdom and convert into solutions to some of the issues and challenges in your country. This is create post-retirement jobs. In conclusion, this system will enable your country to harness all the intellectual talents it has to address all the issues and challenges in your country. Your government will be able to find local solutions to any problem you may be facing.
Take 5 types of people: a talented African child, a young African athlete, African talented female, a talented African man, and an elderly African professor or teacher. These people represent 95% of Africa's intellectual capacity, and at the moment, there is no system in Africa to help develop their intellect into such a state that it can generate revenue for them or help their country to solve some of the issues and challenges the country faces. These talents, therefore, have to leave Africa and go abroad in order to make use of their talents. This loss to Africa is 70% of the reasons why most of Africa are still economically struggling, unable to convert their raw materials to end products, as well as why corruption is seen as the only profitable game in most African economies. Developing Africa Group's IPR commercialization project is based on a mobile application that holds an intellectual property right portfolio for each user. In the case of the child, this will cover primary school years. The plan will be to ensure all parents have the app for their kids as well as ensure all schools have them. It will allow that child to start developing their talent from the time the talent is discovered in their classroom. Whatever the talent is, there will be an indiscriminate system to allow that talent to be developed and grow. This will include a collection of opportunities available to the talent. Everyone remembers that child at school that was so talented, scored multiple distinctions in various exams but never translated that talent into anything meaningful because there was no system to support them. Our aim is to ensure no such talent is wasted. Now moving on to secondary schools. African athletes are often identified at very early stages, between primary and secondary school years. Our aim is to create an indiscriminate system that will enable every talented athlete that is identified to be on board and provided a profile on the app that allows them to develop their career with a full range of opportunities, rather than letting them struggle to develop their talent by themselves. This system is designed to pull all the opportunities available to them together on one app. This will include exposing them to the widest range of sporting opportunities that exists, thereby expanding their horizon. The aim is to ensure every athlete is given as much opportunity as they would like. It has always been said that the African girl child and female are at a disadvantage in Africa when it comes to development opportunities. Our aim is to use the system to specifically target girls and women. This system will focus on them. Now to our African elders. African wisdom are held with our elders, our teachers and professors, and they are often left out of our development initiatives in Africa, and that is why the system has a particular focus to bring that knowledge and wisdom back into the cycle of development. Even if it is to provide advisory services to new talent. We believe that talent should not be wasted. This is how we envisage the IPR commercialization process working.
Have you ever heard of a system in Africa that is designed to develop African talents for the benefit of Africa? A system that enables Africans to use their talent in Africa to address African issues and challenges? A system that enables a young primary school child as well as a retired teacher or professor to utilize their intellect to make a living from their talents? Have you ever heard of a system where sons and daughters of nobody can use their talent to trade their way out of poverty, make a decent living from their talent without having to bribe their way out or have special connections doing them a favor? A system where an African girl or woman does not have to use her body to get a job or do sexual favors for a job, but can use her talent to get the job on her own merits only. This is the Africa we want to create, and we want to enable you to create the same system in your country. Technology and intellectual property rights creates the foundation for Africans to start using their talents to start resolving some of the issues and challenges that we may face in our individual countries. Drop our CEO an email to find out more at omo-akin at developingafrica.net. You can also follow us on Twitter at developingafro. Thank you, and we look forward to hearing from you.